Richard Zakon, who's in the case study, works at the Council for Research Excellence, and in the big data panel that we had there, the Council for Research Excellence has been working pretty closely to kind of get their hands around big data. They have a primer that they put on their website. It's free. It's at www.researchexcellence.com, right? Okay, good. Thank you. And just a couple, I know that we have a few less people than yesterday. I just want some hands being raised. Who here is at this conference for the first time? So I'd just love to know. Wow, that's a lot. I would just love, to get your response back on what you thought about it. Last year was the first one that they had. I thought it was probably one of the best conferences that I've been to as someone that's been attending a lot of these for 25 plus years. I got some great feedback as far as what's going on in this conference over here too. And I think it's, a very unique mix of what this conference does, right? I think they bring a lot of people that do the day in and day out work in regard to media research and all the components that we deal with it. But they also bring, I think, a lot of great speakers that you may say to yourself, well, what does this have to do with what we do in research? I think what they do, they have a lot to do as far as what we do in research. And I think part of it is getting a different purview from speakers and understanding, how they may use data or how the data interacts with them as far as what they do too. So as far as the day two recap, we had Casper Berry, and it was risk-taking and decision-making, and these are the few takeaways that I just pulled from each of these presentations. So uncertainty is good, okay? We cannot know everything. Be prepared to fail. Fear of failure forces us to achieve success. And long-term failure is not an option. So, as I look towards, what a professional poker player does, a lot of these things we do too as researchers. We kind of try to forecast and predict what may be happening in the short term and the long term. Big data overload panel. Big data, so these are the things I took away. Big data is like teenage sex, so that's one thing I took away. Data scientists will be the researcher's best friend and vice versa, okay? Big data and data science alone are not the panacea. And we, the researchers, will continue to drive the context, the insights, and storytelling of that big data. The next speaker we had was Erica Faust. Does social media drive impact to your brand partner? I think it was a very good presentation that basically pretty much answers that question as it is yes. Social media is a part of the fabric of TV. TV drives social media. Social media helps provide the intersection of TV and brands. Social media is another layer that defines engagement of the programs we have and the brands. And lavaliers and fashion blouses do not work well together, okay? Like that. Our other keynote speaker was Shari Swan and it was Better Beginnings. And there are a few things that I took away from this, and it's and I think we do that at times too. Be a data dreamer, and again, I think the way we look at that is, don't do things like you did a few years ago. Take the information that you have. Be a better storyteller. I think research is so much more, and data is interwoven with every one of our stakeholders at the companies that we work with. So I think it's our job to not put a bunch of columns and rows in front of them and have them figure it out. It's our job to tell them what that story is. Simplify our data analysis, insights into action, focus on the why, be an edutainer, and build community. So the one thing that I will take back in regard to that presentation is What I really want to do just within my group, my research team, is build a community of brainstorming where we can share more together. The last one was a panel, and that was Generation P. I've actually have a greater respect for Daniel. He did a great job here. He really did. I think he is a future co-chair for this event, okay? Just want to make sure we know that. I put it out there. I have a greater respect for millennials, okay? A greater respect. I always had a respect for them. I have a greater respect for millennials. They like champagne and scotch like the boomers. I really like them. Very good. Say the alcohol, the great equalizer. And the other thing I saw, watch out for Generation Z. So when we heard from the panel over there, I mean, really, when you saw that picture, I guess, of a baby and mom over there with a mobile phone. Yep, excuse me, yep. It was, I look at my younger son who's 15, which is basically on the cusp of being outside the Gen Z, and just seeing the difference between him as a 15-year-old and my other son as a 20-year-old. Seems it's only 5 years, but it's a big difference as far as how these folks are digital natives.